welcome to this new YouTube tutorial. So today I decided to give it a try on the new After Effects 2026 features and actually attempt to create a character with it, like a fully 3D character. I want to make a couple of very important disclaimers before we get started. First of all, I really don't recommend you use After Effects to create your 3D environment because it has a lot of limitations. One of them being that you cannot create a shape within the shape, if that makes sense. Like, you cannot create a hole in the face so you can add the eyes, so that's a huge disadvantage. If you really want to create 3D scenes, I recommend using other tools like Blender, for example. But what I'm gonna do in this tutorial is going to give you an idea about how to create like your first 3D object with the new After Effects 2026, and then you can move it around a little bit. Of course, don't go into extremes because it doesn't look that well. And of course, as always, you can receive the project file. So let's get started. Okay, so let's start by creating our composition. I am going to call mine main. Okay, and for the dimensions, let's keep it 1080 by 1080. I think it's perfectly fine. Okay, so the first thing I like to do typically is just to add my background. This is going to be a very simple shape like this, and I'm going to call it BG. That's going to be our background. For the background color, I'm going to just select this light blue. Next step is let's start creating the head. So I'm going to open up the cylinder and create a cylinder shape. And then from there, I would like to make some adjustments to the shape itself, so it's not a perfect circle like this and it looks more like a head. Okay, I think I'm kind of happy with the shape that I did. So basically, I just changed the scale options to 100%, 83, and then 100%. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to click on layer over here, then transform, and I just want to make sure it's center in view, and also the anchor point is here at the center. Next, let me just make some adjustments to the material really. I don't want this to be metallic at all. I wanted this to be on 100%, so I have this matte kind of view that I'm going for. So from here, let me go ahead and change the skin color of my newly created head. So I would like my character to be brownish like this. And I think for now I'm good with the shape. Of course, I will probably need to make some changes later on, but I think for now it's okay. Okay, my next step would be to design the eyes of our character. So I'm going to actually create a new composition for that, and I am going to call it eye. And I'm just going to keep the same proportions as they are here. By the way, the duration of my composition is too big, so let's just make it 10%. And let's start by creating another shape. I'm going to use the cylinder shape and I will adjust from there. So here is my cylinder. Let me paste it here on the screen. Now that I have my cylinder shape, I am going to go here in the bevels option, and I would like to make this a lot like 104, and the sides will be 25, and that way I'll have this pill shape that I am going for. And even if I rotate this, yes, I see that it's like a very good flat circle. I won't be really using it as a circle, but yeah, I think it does the job for now. Let me scroll down here and again change the settings again so that I can have my mate material type that I'm going for. I would like the roughness to be 100% and the metallic to be at 0%. Okay, now that my eye is ready, it's time to add the pupil. So let me go ahead and grab my sphere tool. I'm going to create a very basic sphere, and just so I can make sure everything is exactly where it is supposed to be, I am just going to bring the second view, and I'm going to move this to around like here, just with the Z position. Now I'll probably need to change the radius of this, just because it is like indeed too big. Okay, so here is our eye. It looks a bit weird now. Actually, not a bit. It looks really weird. Don't worry, it'll look better later when we add it to the actual design. This is going to be one of the eyes. Of course, we'll need to create the other one, but we can duplicate it, really. I mean, we don't really have to design the same thing again and again. So let me actually go back here in my main composition and let's add my eye. Okay, huge eye. Yes. Okay, needs to be adjusted. Just make sure this little thing here is clicked and also the 3D is clicked. And I'm going to again bring up the view, and I would like to make sure that this is like, first of all, it's scaled down quite a lot, and it's positioned somewhere around here, I think. Just gonna, yes, make it kind of embedded inside the face or something like this. This looks good. Let me scale it up though. All right, I'm gonna move to one view, and oops, I'm just gonna grab the X position and bring it around here. So now let's go ahead and create our nose. So the nose will be actually a cone. I'm going to do that directly in this composition. I'm not really going to create a pre-comp for that. Adjust the sides to make them 3. So that way you have this very, very nice nose shape that we can also rotate like this. And there we have our nose. Before we continue with this tutorial, I have a very big announcement to make, and this is the fact that we are finally launching our very own creative community. And inside the community, you'll be able to meet with peer animators, designers, UI, UX designers, and so on. You have access to a bunch of assets that you can play with, tutorials and courses, and all these helpful resources that will help you grow in animation, illustration, and all these creative fields. We're going to be launching very soon, so if you want to support our mission, please subscribe to our channel and comment below. It helps more than you think, so thank you so much. Okay, for now, ignore the part that this pupil is coming out of the eye. We're going to fix this later. So the next thing we are going to do is to create the ears. So for them, again, I'm going to create a new pre-comp, and I'm going to name this ear, okay? And I'm going to click OK. So when I do that, let me start by creating a torus shape. So it'll look like this, but let me go ahead here in the layer transformation, and I'm going to adjust the X to be at 90%, and then the ring radius to be huge, but the pipe radius to be something like this, I think. And then from here, I'm just going to scale it down. Okay, actually, I need it to be, yeah, something maybe like this. Okay, yeah, that's good. Let's make the same changes to the material. I would like to add like a shape here behind this, and I'm going to turn this shape into a 3D shape. And in the views, I would like to make this shape to be right here. Okay, this can actually even be darker, and I'm going to see about this. I'm not sure if that's the right color to use, so I might need to grab like a different color when I place it. So that's the ear. Let me review it in my composition here, and let's add it to our main comp. And I'm just going to place the ear on my character. That's what we have so far. So our character is very, like, looks very weird and very, very, very funny. Let's continue working on him, and we'll see how he looks at the end. So now for the eyebrows, again, let me create a new composition, name it eyebrow, and I'm going to do that with the cube actually. Just make sure the radius is very, very high here. The sides, you can keep them as is, and just adjust the width and the height. The depth can be very like little, like this. Smoothing angles can be high. And again, no metallic and 100% roughness. Okay, let me open it up and bring it on top of my character. Okay, duplicate this. Okay, he's cute. All right, so let's move forward with the mouth. I'm just basically going to be creating just a little, mouth like this. It's going to be turned into a 3D layer, of course, and I'm just going to bring it where it is supposed to be and scale it up and down as if needed. It's just going to have a stroke, like just a darker stroke than the nose. And let me quickly do that and adjust the line cap and the line join to be around there and bring it where it is supposed to be. Okay, so he's starting to become cuter and cuter. I would like to do one more thing, and that's to add the neck. And this is going to be done, of course, with the cylinder. Let me just save my project and just add the cylinder shape around here and move it where it is supposed to be. Okay, here we go. Our neck is ready as well. And then from here, our next step is to create the hair. So our character is going to have a pink curly hair. With the sphere tool, just add a bunch of red bows on top of his head. So I'm going to speed this up, but essentially I will open up my two views and I will be drawing the shapes of the hair above his head. And once I draw one, I am going to change its color, make sure the metallic is at 0%, roughness 100%. And then from here, I will be just copy pasting this a bunch of times until I see a good hair that I like. Okay, so he's starting to become very, very cute, and I'm very, very happy about this. This is not how you do 3D, and not how you do 3D. You can see a bunch of mistakes here. Like, for example, this eye is kind of coming out of the head. So typically you need to do kind of a hole in order to add this in. Of course, it's not the perfect way to do the 3D, as I said, but I wanted to show you just like a nice way to add a little dimension to your 2D characters in After Effects in case you want to. So for now, I would like to add the camera. So right click here, click new, and then click on camera. I am going to be using a 15 millimeters lens, and here is how it looks like. Of course, here later when I decide to animate it, I can add some nice motion. So for now, I think we are good to go. The only thing I would like to do is change the point of interest a little bit, just make it like this. Okay, so looks good. So two things that I would like to adjust here is, first of all, the lighting. As you know, in 3D, the lighting is 70% of the work. So I am going to go ahead and find some suitable HDRI files that I'm going to be adding to the scene so that it has this nice cinematic look. So I'm going to go ahead and find HDRIs. I really love this website, the Poly Heaven, and I'm going to search here to find the suitable lighting for our character. So I'm going to speed this up. Okay, so I decided to use this lighting over here. The link will be in the description. And basically what I did was to add it here at an environment light and then make sure the source is at this. Then I added a little bit of an ambient light. And as you can see, my rendering options right now are very low quality, just so I can have like a decent preview. But if I change that to 30%, it's going to look like way better. And of course, if I continue making adjustments, I will get to the look that I am going for. So let me go ahead and make a few adjustments. Like I see some of these elements are not where they're supposed to be. So let me speed this part up. So now I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of additional lights to this. Animate my character. I would like to start with like an extreme zoom in shot where my point of interest will be something like this, I think. And now let me add a few keyframes for the zoom, position, orientation, point of interest, and I'm going to easy ease them. And now I am going to add a very simple motion of just zooming the camera out to 2000 maybe. Okay, maybe a bit less, 150, okay. And I would like to open up my bottom view. Those. Lastly, I'm going to add the little blinking of the eyes and the eyebrow movement, and we will have him ready. So that was it for today, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this tutorial. If you want to receive the project files, feel free to follow us on Instagram and DM us 3D character After Effects so we can send you the drive link. You can play with these files and do whatever you want with them. They're created specifically for this tutorial. So hopefully that was helpful, and happy animating.